Hello everyone, I'm JoinerCAD and I am coming back with new power. As of now, JoinerCAD has a new skeleton design functionality, which significantly accelerates the creation of the geometry through the use of primitives. In order to work faster, I move the icons of the primitives to be used to the main ribbon. Let's begin. First, I use the box function to draw a cuboid with the dimensions of 500 by 400 by 800. Then I open JoinerCAD Ribbon, where we can see a new skeleton design section with new functions: dress up, clone, shelves and dividers, trim, miter, and convert. Clicking Dress Up converts the selected body into a skeleton body, which can be manipulated. For example, new panels created, shelves added, and so on. All flat surfaces or faces can be automatically collected and selected. Then their size, name, and stretch direction, offset or extruded, can be changed for all of them together or individually. I'm doing this right now. Once I click OK, new components are created and grounded. Now I can assign materials to them or continue working on them. For example, specify the joints, add shelves, and so on. I will continue working with the skeleton body visibility disabled. Now I will use the Shelves and Dividers functionality and add 2 shelves. I use Trim for treatment of panel ends that are in contact with each other. I do the same with the ends of the shelves. Since both shelves are identical, trimming the ends of one shelf is enough, and the other shelf is trimmed automatically. I am sure that the basics are now clear to you, so I will show you how to work on a larger model. Our larger model will be a cabinet for an attic. It is made up of 2 skeleton bodies, top and bottom. Accordingly, 2 solid bodies were drawn. Their volume corresponds to the volume of the niche in the attic. In addition, there's a plane, which will serve as the basis for creating the geometry. This will only be an example of how desired panels can be created using standard additional geometry elements. This example that I am using is available in the JoinerCAD directory of examples. Open JoinerCAD Ribbon. Click Dress Up. In the top body, which is converted into a skeleton, I select the faces, where panels will not be created. So now we have only 3 parts or faces, which we will work on. I rename one of the panels and change its thickness. This way, we get the first frame of the cabinet. I click Dress Up once again and make a frame for the bottom part of the cabinet. For one of the panels, that is the back, I changed the stretch direction, thickness, and name. I also changed the thickness and names of the top and bottom panels. I click OK, and the geometry of the bottom part is created. I can now create internal components. I disable the visibility of the skeleton body so the graphic shows only the panels. Now I will use the clone command, which allows to use the same panel once again. The panel can be used as is, that is, identical to the original, or as a basis for creating a new panel. In the latter case, it becomes independent from the original panel. I open the clone command and select the panel to be used as a basis for creating a new panel. There are two ways to clone a panel: specifying the distance or using an existing plane parallel to the original panel. In this case, the plane shows the distance where the panel will be inserted. I tick the independent copy box because the newly created panel must be independent from the original. This way, I will be able to change its thickness independent of the original panel thickness. Other panels are created the same way. I select the original panel, which will be cloned. Again, I tick the independent copy box, enter the distance, select the target distance insertion type, and the direction where the new panel should be placed. In order to specify the direction, a straight edge and distance have to be indicated. Finally, I will create yet another panel. Once cloning is completed, the ends of panels have to be treated, that is, their joints created. In order to do this, I open the Trim command and select the panels that have to be trimmed. Then I change the selection type and select the bounding panels. They show where to cut off the vertical panels. Here we are. What should you do if there is a panel which has to be trimmed, but its position is wrong? First, you should unground the panel, move it, and ground it again in the new position. So, once the panel is ungrounded, I open the standard Fusion 360 Move command. In the drop-down menu, I select Components, click on the panel to be moved, tick the Capture Position box, and move the panel 80 mm to the side. Once the move is complete, the panel has to be grounded in the new position. Again, I open the Trim command and trim the edges of the two panels. Non-perpendicular panels can be treated too. JoinerCAD does not put limitations on the design. In this case, I use the Trim command and select a diagonal panel that rests against the horizontal panel. After trimming, it will be cut at an angle. Here, we will need a miter joint. I click OK, and the panels are joined together at an angle. The work with joints is done, and we can move on to the next steps, that is, adding shelves. The new JoinerCAD functionality allows to insert shelves between two parallel panels. I open the Shelves and Dividers command and indicate the parallel panels between which the shelves will be inserted. I enter the number of shelves. As you can see, the shelves are identical, but they can be made into separate components and then edited. For example, their thickness changed. The dimensions of the inserted shelves are automatically set the same as the dimensions of the original panel. In order to reduce the dimensions of the shelves, I use the standard Fusion 360 Press-Pull command available from the standard ribbon. I reduce the depth of the panels to the desired depth of the shelves. Then I open the Trim command and select only one shelf because the others are identical. I select the respective bounding panels. Once the trim is complete, all shelves are of required size. Now I will open the Shelves and Dividers command again and create one more shelf in another niche. All steps are the same as before. Now I will make dividers and a shelf in the bottom part of the cabinet. I use the Shelves and Dividers command to insert 2 dividers. I use the Trim command to trim the pillars. Now I open the Shelves and Dividers command again and add a shelf in the central niche. Then I reduce the shelf dimensions and its depth. As you can see, it took me less than 10 minutes to design this model. Now I can assign JoinerCAD materials and generate a detailed BOM. Good luck!